are only 2 months into 2023 and already we have some ridiculous fashion trends kicking about. So I thought I would take the liberty to go into 3 of those trends with you today. And if this is the first time you're hearing of them, I sincerely apologise. Trend number 1, cartoon fashion. As the name suggests, we are taking inspiration from our animated friends, your Dragon Ball Z, your Cartoon Network favourites, your Pixar, your Disney, any of the above. And this can be seen in, the most recent example of this are MSCHF's big red boots. Is this video simply an excuse so that I can talk about these boots? Maybe. These are a pair of red boots, as the name suggests. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. And they seem to be made of foam. They are very reminiscent of Astro Boy, and these seem to have been sent to a select group of influencers, creatives, artists, celebrities. And my gosh, last week I was plagued by these boots. These boots aren't out yet, but I think by the time this goes up, they will be out, and they will be retailing for $350. Now, these boots, as you may expect, are dividing the internet. And here are just a few comments on the sort of official release video of these boots. Half of me is like, what happened to everyone? The other half of me just wants it right now. People will wear anything nowadays. These things stay looking like they convert into a raft in case of emergency. These boots are high art. I don't care what anyone says. Now, there is a comment here that we're going to get back to, but somebody has said here, is this some weird social experiment to see how far people will go to try and be cool or relevant? Utter madness and peak consumerism. I feel sorry for people who feel they need these, seriously lacking something in their life. I mean, I saw these and I simply think that they're ridiculous. They do. They look like something that Popeye wore. Like, and never in my life have I watched Popeye and gone, oh my gosh, he goes hard with the shoes, you know? But I have seen some people on the internet really give it a good go in styling these boots. And honestly, props to them, because they did what I did not think was anywhere near possible. Also, they seem insane to take off. I watched a video of somebody literally being dragged around the floor by the foot trying to get these shoes off, and honestly, no. I mean, they weren't for me anyway. And then on top of that, I was like, and a hell for taking these off. No, I'm fine, thank you. I also saw somebody have to cut into the back of the shoe in order to get them off and on. Logistically, we are all so lacking. And in fashion, as in life, there is a lid for every pot. You might hate it, somebody else is going to absolutely love it. But I want to go into the makers of this shoe. So the makers are MSCHF. They are a New York artist collective. And this is a quote about them: subverts mass/popular culture and corporate operations and tools for critique and intervention. Essentially, they take the piss knowing that people are going to buy these items. It's meant to be a commentary on capitalism and trends and all of this. Recently they released a perfume or a cologne that was the same scent as WD-40. It sold out. I don't even know how one's mind jumps to that. Again, I've never gone near a little bottle of WD-40 and gone, ooh, slather it on my neck. But that's the whole point of them. So what they do best is getting people talking. Now, on their website and on the listing for these shoes, it says, cartoon boots for a cool 3D world. Continued blending of virtual and IRL aesthetics. When half the sneakers we see on social media are renderings, we come to expect a baseline of unreality. Which I think they've got a point with, and I think that they've summed up why cartoon fashion is something that we'll be seeing a lot of. When we've got this sort of exploration into digital fashion and NFTs and what virtual reality looks like from a fashion perspective, I think it all oddly ties in. Now, another brand that we're seeing explore cartoon fashion hugely is JW Anderson under Loewe. Loewe under JW Anderson. JW Anderson for Loewe. You know what I'm talking about. So we saw a couple of examples of this coming for spring/summer 2023. Number 1 being these sort of inflatable Barbie pumps. The other thing that they did is that they had a t-shirt, a pair of jeans, and a hoodie that all looked pixelated, right? And so you've got this sort of very 2D looking item that is obviously 3D and has been constructed to be made so you look like a character from Habbo Hotel, or you're still using Windows Windows 97. It's all, and to be honest with you, I found that part of it very interesting, and I think it's impressive to be able to create something that looks that fake in a real world. Does that make sense? And I think that we're only going to see more of this. Again, as we sort of explore this, whatever digital fashion looks like and what even is it and all of that. And I think the Loewe pieces individually can be styled really creatively, you know, with sort of normal clothes and whatever. And I'm hoping to see people do that. I'm looking forward to that. When it comes to the big red boots, like I said, I've seen people really do their very best styling these, and honestly to a level that I'm impressed with. But at the end of the day, if I were to see somebody wearing this out, I would just be like, what sort of a joke is this, you know? And that's just me. I mean, some people, there's a lid for every pot. Some people will see it and be like, oh my gosh, this is everything I've ever wanted from a foam boot. And to you, good for you. And also part of me wants to put my foot in it to really see how hard it is to get off, but also like claustrophobia, no thank you. Anyway, guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're gonna love it here. So head on there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. Okay, trend number 2. This is the no pants trend. And I think if we had to pick one celebrity to blame this on, it's going to be Kendall Jenner. She stepped out in pants, essentially like knickers, underwear with tights, and a black pump and a black sweater, unassuming jumper there, with a bouquet of flowers under her arm in the most unstaged paparazzi shot I've ever seen, with her Bottega sardine bag in the other hand, looking like she had maybe forgotten a certain aspect of her look that day. But you may or may not be surprised to know that this has sparked a trend, and people on social media are trying to execute the no pants trend in their lives. Now, this isn't the first time we've sort of seen this. On the Spring/Summer 2023 runways, we saw a couple of brands do this. We saw it at Bottega, we saw it at Coperni and Delcourt. I mean, I'm seeing it and I'm like, good for you. Could not be me. I think this is my personal hell. I frequently leave the house and maybe if I like see somebody looking at me or my outfit, my mind goes to, did I forget something? My mind goes to like, is my fly open? Have I even got trousers on? Am I living in a world of delusion? That is what my mind goes to. And for that to be a possibility of like, oh no, I have consciously come out in my knickers today, I don't think my mind has evolved enough for that. I'm not mentally equipped for it. It almost like depends on the proportion of the pant, because it can look like hot pants or it can look like knickers. Tessa Thompson wore, I think it was a Miu Miu look with the Miu Miu satin briefs. A very obvious Loewe look actually, Cassie. And that did just look like she'd just massively missed out on a pair of trousers or a skirt for the look, and it didn't look right. If Miu Miu's mini skirt wasn't short enough, get your knickers out. And I think that there's almost ways of doing it that look more intentional. Like there are some pieces and designs that we've been seeing cropping up that sort of pair this with the sheer trend. So your pants are on show, but there's like a sheer skirt on top. That looks more like that was meant to happen. I don't know why, a part of me just thinks like, Mayday, when I see it, like, oh my gosh, there's been an error. Something's gone wrong when I see these looks. And again, maybe it's just sort of like the situations it's been paired in, like to look very casual or to like wear it with a blazer. That again, it just sort of looks unfinished. Does that make sense? Now, my final trend sort of weaves in very nicely to this. If there was a Venn diagram, these would be the middle, okay? Understood. This is slob wear, yes. Cast our minds back to that time we were in lockdown, and athleisure really grew in popularity because we're home, we want to be comfy, we want to look, maybe a matching set instead of some old sweats that have holes in them and, you know, need a very good fabric shave but never do get treated to it, with, you know, some merch top that I bought at a concert 10 years ago. Maybe for once, you know, I'll treat myself to a matching little athleisure set, and it made sense. But now there's this sort of slob wear trend. We saw Bella Hadid look like she was running some errands, once again in her knickers. We saw Kylie Jenner turn up to the Loewe fashion show in a Loewe tank top and Loewe briefs. And it's just this sort of a bit more like nonchalance. I'm fully aware that I'm in my slobbing outfit and that is the trend. Very much like rolled out of bed situation. Also, I did just realise that I said Kylie Jenner at the Loewe show, and then we were also talking about Loewe with the cartoon trend, and I'm like, JW Anderson, are you the common denominator? Are you the reason that these things are happening? In which case, do I need to have a little chat with you? What are you up to, sir? Like I said, we were used to a level of athleisure over the last sort of couple of years, and so for it to take... But we had options, you know, we saw sort of chic ways to do athleisure that were comfortable, but still looked, you know, a level of put together. And this is sort of to subvert that entirely. And it's, you know, I know that this looks like the bare minimum, but I'm actually trying to make that a look. And do we need to be wearing our knickers on the outside of tights? Well, I will say, if you are wearing tights and you are worried about dissension, nobody likes to be able to see the gusset of your tights below your skirt, okay? That's the worst thing. Put knickers on top of them, obviously before you put your skirt on top, because it keeps them up, but that's just a tip from me to you. It's one of those trends that's like, oh, the whole point of it is to do the opposite of other trends where we see like, you know, dopamine dressing or looking really glamorous and dressed up in crystals and sparkle and all of that, and it's the absolute antithesis of that. You know, this just got out of bed, slept in, baggy t-shirt. It's interesting, to tell you the least. Is it something that I will be participating in? I mean, I think we know me well enough to know that I shan't be dipping my toes into, certainly not the no pants and the slob wear trend. It's just not for me. Guys, what do you think of these trends? I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father...
If you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.